So let me get this straight. Chelsea are going to sign Duran from Aston Villa, who has less than 2 Premier League games played, because he hasn't got enough opportunities to showcase his untapped potential and talent. So we're going to develop him, nurture him, feed him, clothe him. And then what? Aston Villa are going to sign him at an extortionate price in 3 years' time? Okay. Whilst we have things to compete for, okay. Where's my fucking camera, bruv? Bullshit. Mad. Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another video. Big up your damn selves in the building. Make sure you smash up the likes every single damn time and subscribe if you are new. Never a dull day at Chelsea. I am unfortunately bringing to you news that we were privy to a few weeks ago, but I decided to push it under the rug because I didn't want to take it seriously. I didn't want to look it in the eye and actually speak these words. But unfortunately, it's been reported by some very respectable journalists, Fabrizio, Matt Law. So I have to now talk about it and not even going to go on a rant. I'm just going to articulate point by point why this is a stupid move. And I'm going to come down and crash on this board and this sporting director or sporting directors. And it's just as simple as that. But let's get into the context of what I'm talking about. In with the news. Yesterday evening, Chelsea are having meetings internally to discuss Duran, not Kevin Duran, just Duran. There is interest we can confirm, but no bid yet. Nothing is advanced, but they will make direct contact to understand the terms of the deal. This is Aston Villa's Duran. 14 Premier League appearances, but only 171 minutes accumulated this season. That's less than two full games, less than 2 games of football. 2 goals, 1 assist. That's what he is. That's what he has been this season. He didn't play much last. He is a bench option for Watkins. He doesn't see much game time. Like I said, less than 2 full games in the Premier League this season. 20 years old, from Chicago Fire. He was in the MLS a couple years ago when he was a teenager. 27 games, 8 goals. Continuing before I cuss. Given Duran's age and relatively low wage, he is a fit for the profile of signings under Chelsea's Egbali and Todd Bowie control. More than Karim Benzema. More than Karim Benzema. This is a better fit for Chelsea than Karim Benzema. Who do I cuss first? Who is responsible for the squad building here? Chelsea Football Club and sporting directors. As Miz would say, here's a message just for you. I am not here to discuss about the scouting in terms of talent identification. You have signed Malo Gusto. You have signed Petrovic. You have brought in Badiashile. You have brought in players that are talented, that are exceeding expectations, a few of them, and have looked like good investments. My problem is you are not matching that up with the squad building. You are not bringing balance to a team competing at the highest level with demands, with expectations, with pressure to perform and compete at the highest level, which we are not doing because we are 9th. And the reason for that is because you are overdoing it. Extremism is putting it lightly. You are over-egging it on the young players, bringing them in, putting them into an environment that they cannot flourish in and succeed in because it is too many of them in one go. You don't have to do it in a stack on stack on stack. There's too much filling in the burger. Remove some of the meat. You've got Washington, you've got Fofana, you've got Broja, who we're going to consider is leaving if this person comes in, but you've got Jackson, you've got Whispers. How many more developing, rough, around the edges strikers do you need at this football club? With not one proven, not one experience, not one leader, not one guaranteed machine. I'm going to debunk a couple of things here, right? This player may be talented, just like Willian, who you're ready to spend £40 million on, who's 16 years old, to come and join in 2025. He may be talented. He is talented. But that's not the point. Having talent is not enough at this level. You need many other factors and intangibles and attributes that you don't have at that age because you've not played. You haven't faced a Premier League player and got absolutely clattered into. You haven't developed that physical side. You haven't played against the top defenders to master the movements that some struggle with in this team. You haven't been in the high pressure moments to perform when the crowd are on your back. It's not just about the data. It's not just about the spreadsheet. And it's about giving some of these young players some inspiration, some leader to look up to in training, to teach them, to guide them, to help them. That's how you develop the best youngsters. You surround them with top players. Real Madrid, they have Kroos with Camavinga. They have Modric with Bellingham, teaching them the outside the right boot pass. They had Benzema with Vinny and Rodrigo. We had Aspie with Reece James, Giroud with Tammy. How many more examples do I have to give? Aguero with Jesus. You cannot continue to just completely build a under 25 team and not even bring any balance to this. This player is not ready. He's not in form. He's not playing. He's not ready to impact now. He's not even eligible to play in the fucking Carabao Cup and FA Cup. Do you know how insane that is to sign someone potentially to replace Broja, who is not ready, who has not been good since the injury, to replace him with someone who's also not ready, who can play less games because he's not even eligible. He's cup tied. He can't play the FA Cup. He's already played in the FA Cup this season. You can't play for more than one club in the FA Cup. He can't play against Liverpool. We are going into Liverpool game in the final, in the Carabao Cup final, with a plastic knife. I've degraded us from a kitchen knife to a plastic knife. And Liverpool will turn up with a gun. With Salah. You are going into battle with the wrong tools. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? He's cup tied. What kind of idiocy is this? He's 20 years old. He doesn't play regularly for Aston Villa. He is benched for Watkins. He doesn't even come off the bench in the Prem. Are you listening? You're telling me Benzema's too expensive. You can't afford him, but you can afford to pay for Washington for 20 million. But you can afford João Felix's loan last season for that initial fee. But you can't afford wages for Benzema. So let's just talk about Benzema, right? Because Benzema's said to be unhappy in Saudi. The 37-year-old is on enormous wages, a huge hurdle to overcome, and it's not a deal that currently suits Chelsea. You're not going to pay him 3 million a week. We've established that. Let's not insult mine and the viewer's intelligence. So he's going to take a deduction. If he wants to leave that badly, he will make himself available with a deal with the Saudi club or by humbling himself like Henderson and terminating his contract, who went to Ajax and took normal wages. No team in Europe, Benzema will be aware of this, no team in Europe can pay 3 million a week. So fuck that price. It doesn't exist to any team outside of Saudi. Next point, if he wants 200k a week, let's just go with a ballpark figure. That's 800k a month. He's going to be here for 4 months, right? That's about 3.2 million. You're trying to tell me that you can't afford 3.2 million for a short-term deal to potentially get you into Europe, to make you more money. You can't make money if you're shit. You can only make a certain amount. I'm going to go over to this new Jordan deal to link it all together. Jordan Brand is in negotiations with Chelsea and Tottenham, but this is an extension of the cooperation with Nike. On the club's alternative jersey, which would probably be the 4th jersey, such as PSG, the key condition is to play European Cup football next season. We're not even talking about Champions League because we're not making that. We're talking about Europa League or Conference League. The league is still all to play for. We can make Europa League. We can win a cup. Why are you giving up on the season, signing a player that is cup-tied, that will make no serious improvement to the side, not a serious challenger for Jackson? He is a bench option at best. And therefore foregoing more money, more revenue on the match days, less games. You're foregoing potentially TV money. You're foregoing prize money. You're foregoing money. You're letting money go out the door to save money. Do you know how stupid that sounds? We're going to pay less wages because we're trying to save money. We don't want to qualify for Europe, give ourselves a better opportunity to go in an extra competition next season to save money. You're going to lose money. You will not make the maximum amount of money at this club without being successful. It's impossible. The most money you can make is by winning Champions League prize money, winning Premier League prize money. Being in these competitions gets you better sponsorship deals. You're going to potentially lose this one for Jordan, because you're not going to be in Europe if you go and sign fucking Duran. I don't even know who this man is. I only know Kevin Durant. I don't know this man. You would have been better off signing Luke Littler in the darts. He's 17. He just turned 17. he's doing brilliantly. More on this Jordan deal. The iconic brand chose London because the city is considered one of the world's leading fashion capitals. Jordan brand is counting on success, as it is the case with many collections from PSG, also in the field of streetwear. We're potentially going to lose a deal to Tottenham for this Jordan deal because we have dropped off so far as a football club to find ourselves in mid-table, and that should be a wake-up call for these sporting directors. Not to say that you can't scout talent, because you know your talent, right? To a degree. You're going to find some flops in there in this bundle that we've brought in for $1 billion, but that's okay. You know, not everyone's going to be a success. In the 20, there's going to be 3 or 4 flops, right? Percentages. But you haven't thought in your brain now that there's some sort of, I don't know, drop the ego and maybe, you know, bring in an experienced face, bring in a leader. What do you think Thiago Silva wants to see in his last season? Because that's who we're going to get onto next. Do you think he wants to see Duran come in from Aston Villa's bench? Or do you think he wants to see Karim Benzema, who's won it all, leader for Real Madrid, knows where the goal is, good link-up man, understands what it's about to be at the highest level and compete? Who do you think he'd rather share a dressing room with? Better question, who do you think Poch wants? People will be like, oh, Poch. Do you think Poch wants Duran? You think Poch has seen Duran play in the MLS for Chicago Fire? He's trying to sell Gallagher, this board. That's not what Poch wants. The manager and this board are not in line, because the board will do whatever the fuck they want, regardless of what the manager wants. And that is evidently clear with this move if they get it done. Nobody wants Duran apart from the data brothers in the back room. The Winstanleys, the Stewarts, maybe the Bowies and Egbalis. I don't know who to blame. It's all 4 of you at this point. But the main point is that there's no way Pochettino is sitting there saying, do you know what I need? You know, I'm really struggling to teach Mudryk off the ball movement and timing of the runs. I'm really struggling to get, you know, big chances converted, even though we've already equaled or surpassed the goal tally for last season. The whole of last season, we've already equaled or surpassed it right now, today, as I speak, which is ridiculous considering how bad we have been at finishing this season. It's not as bad as last. And we was in more competitions. Don't forget Champions League. You'd think, no. You think he wants Duran? You think he's watching Duran? He can't be, because Duran is not playing. You can afford 20 million for Washington. You can potentially pay a 40 million release clause for a 16-year-old, but you can't pay Benzema 3.2 million wages for 4 months. You expect me to believe that? You don't take this season seriously with a signing like this. If this signing goes through and you walk away from Benzema, you're not taking this season seriously. You're not taking these cup competitions seriously. You're just interested in investing in young products to sell for a profit. And some of the young players you won't get a profit for because they won't develop, because there is no integration period. The loans are flopping so far. Very few of them are working out. You have Santos. You have Fofana. You have Cassidy. You have Lukaku, who's coming back in the summer. You have Ziyech, who's coming back in the summer. Kepa, who's coming back in the summer because Roma won't qualify for Champions League. Real Madrid don't want Kepa. You lot need to get your shit together ASAP, Rocky, bruv. Because I can only take so much shit. These types of links in the situation we're in is beyond... It's speechless. I have no words. I'm discombobulated. I think I've covered everything, guys. We're going to Wembley. But how am I following that up with a negative video, if you see it as that? I'm just speaking my truth. I've always said there has to be some balance. I've always said this is a very high risk, potentially high reward strategy with this ownership to go down a very young model. I wasn't expecting every single fucking signing in this sporting director's period to be under 25. Give me a bit of wiggle room. Now, for those who have a saving grace, they're going to tell me that, oh, we're just saving up money for Osherman. This will give us a little bit of profit because Broya will leave on a pure profit. This player comes in, spreads over the contract for 5 years. Osherman comes in the summer. If we finished back-to-back mid-table in 10th, 9th, no cup win because we have no Duran, Jackson is the only striker available, and Cuckoo's probably picked up another knock. If you think for 2 seconds that I'm going to give two shits about a mythical Osherman move that hasn't happened yet, which we could easily be outbid for, or he could change his mind because we're not playing in Champions League next season, then you're having a laugh. I'm still committed to this season. I'm still invested in this season. This season is not over. We can still be in Europa League. We can still win cups. Don't think about next season. Every single season we think about next season. Last season we were thinking about next season. This season we're thinking about next season. Think about the season we're in. Think about now. Think about the Jordan deal. Think about now. Forget next season. Forget Osimhen. Forget your little piggy bank. Because if there's one thing about Osimhen, it's not worth all of this fuss. I can tell you that for free. Just the same way the Nkuku deal was not worth all of the, Nkuku, when he's fit, everything's going to change. Brother, please. There's no one player that's going to fix this team. There are other strikers out there that could do well, could not. He could bust, he could not. Osimhen. You know I'm not exactly in favour of splashing the 100 million, but do not come and pretend to me like he's the saviour. Please do not pretend to me like he's a guaranteed. It's just briefing and PR and bullshit to try and get the fan base to roll on to the end of the season. Oh, Osimhen. Think about today. Think about now. Think about the game against Liverpool at Anfield in the Premier League. Think about the game against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. Osimhen versus Boniface versus Isak versus Tony. Do you think I really give a shit? I have my preference, but if you think I'm putting money into a piggy bank and not getting Benzema for Osimhen, that's not even guaranteed anyway. What happens if you don't get Osimhen? You remember when Liverpool thought they were getting Bellingham? Man City thought they were getting Bellingham. We'll just save all our money all season. We'll get Bellingham. He goes to Real Madrid. What now? Now, those clubs are doing okay because they've actually got the foundations, but we don't. We're still building after $1 billion. So stop thinking that the market is set. Stop thinking that the deal is done because it's not announced. We don't have Osimhen, and I'm not taking Durag or fucking Duran or fucking Kevin for a bench striker at Aston Villa to come in because we're saving money. Piss off. Ridiculous. Guys, smash up the likes. Make sure you subscribe. Give me your thoughts in the comments. Madueke's happy to be in the final. It's his first trip to Wembley. Hopefully not his last. And I'll see you next time for the preview for the Aston Villa game where I'm going to just pretend like this didn't happen. And hopefully Duran plays that game because actually, I don't even know if I want to see him because that might, do you know what? Brother, I don't even know what to say. Do we want to see him against us in the cup? If he scores, will that entice him to buy? I don't even know. Bruv, just get me out of here. This is ridiculous. In a bit, people. Peace.